different version.
Alright.
It's still a JPEG. It's very sketchy currently.
Oh, snap. It still looks really good. They're definitely getting the form down. And I like the slight curvature of the wings.
Yeah, that was one of the things, oh. I thought that was a glitch at first, but no, that's the screensaver.
Anyways, alright, so stream is on for the moment, but I'm gonna sit around and wait for it to cook a little bit.
Nice.
But anyways, I think let me take a look at this. There was recently a Chris Chan video that I watched where it had the scene of Chris and of since this documentary part 16 appears to be covering the I guess height of the Liquid Chris saga.
Oh shit, is this the one where fucking Liquid's girlfriend's dad shows up and just fucking rapes his ass?
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know if this like where it's at, but I believe it might be at the very end of this documentary, but I believe it is this particular part is going to be covering the musical battle that they have. And
the physical battle.
Yeah, where Chris and Liquid Chris would have a singing contest to see who is the true Chris. Since the trolls are all right. This has a lot of context behind it. Hold on, let me slow down. All right, so Chris Chan's last YouTube account gets banned, so he makes a new account called IBA Chandler. This is perfect material for trolls to not only boost this Liquid Chris guy, I can't talk, and also make it seem like Liquid Chris is the true Chris instead of Chris Shannon himself. And why they do this is because, well, it's funny, and B, because the interesting title for Chris Chan's new YouTube channel, which is IBA Chandler, which makes the trolls decide, that kind of sounds like it might be a like the letters might stand for something, and so they're like, maybe it stands for like a different name. Maybe this isn't even Chris. Obviously it was Chris, but this was perfect bait. And so that's what they start running with, is that Chris isn't actually the real Chris, and actually the real Chris is Liquid Chris. And that's why they have a singing contest, which is to prove who is the true and honest Chandler.
They bring up the name. Yeah. What was the name? It was like Ian Brandon Anderson.
Yeah. Ian Brandon Anderson.
Or is it Ian Brian Anderson?
It's Brandon, I believe. But yeah. There was a video I watched recently that was about the Liquid Chris saga, though. It wasn't this. It was a different one entirely. I think it was just a compilation of videos in the context of that, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, like some of the freaking crazy like
Well,
stuff.
I'm gonna watch the video.
Yeah.
Oh shit, your stream's on.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you just waiting?
Yeah, I'm just waiting right now. It's been about 5 minutes.
I don't see it.
Eh.
Oh, it's here.
Alright.
To the live chat while I watch a YouTube video. Anyway, that picture is the current version.
Yeah.
But there was a little bit of drama because they didn't like how I was or at least I think they were starting to become increasingly annoyed about how I was asking for more and more changes, even though it's a sketch.
Yeah. I mean, it's better to do it in the sketching phase.
That's what I said, but they were like, well, and they basically bring up, I can't, the way they bring it up is, I think one of the problems is that the finished product, at least for me, a lot of the times looks way too different from what I sketch.
Yeah, I occasionally get that.
So,
typically sketch really vague and then continue to add the details.
Yeah. And the problem is, like, I keep refining the sketch, not the picture. Which is why they wanted for me to go forward a long time ago, but I didn't know that at the time. So,
yeah. Just lack of information.
Yeah.
Alright.
We've decided to go forward with this one after a little bit of a battle.
Yeah.
On, how Lily is positioned.
Yeah. Well, alright,
You're gonna do this.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my real Game Boy up on the screen. And we're gonna play some more Pokemon Snakewood. Did some grinding since last time, like I said. Don't know if it'll be enough, but we'll see.
Huh.
Hopefully the audio levels are good. Checked it beforehand, but still not quite sure. Okay, so everyone's level 24. Except for Q, because Q is just the pickup slave. They're there for moral and kind of financial support. Anyways, we got to this town last time. This town is allegedly completely unaffected by the zombie plague. Astounding. We've got a gym here.
This video is gonna be too distracting.
Yeah, I definitely save it for later, unless you, I don't know how much I'll be doing, during this part. Let me move some windows over here. Like, I don't think it'll be too visually intensive, so if you want to keep watching that Chris Chan video, you can.
Yeah, but I feel like I won't be listening to you during that.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
Because it's constant. Sometimes I actually put this on 20. I put this video on like 125% speed because it moves slowly.
Yeah. Vast and alien roar echoes out of the cave. Whatever is in there, I don't want to enter. Okay. I think that was Dragonite's call?
Huh.
Oh, well, I guess gym it is. Freaking him before level 30.
Level 30? What is your Pokemon? Level 5?
Level 24. So technically speaking, if it is level 30, it shouldn't take me too terribly long to accommodate for that, but I hope it's not.
Yeah.
I'm the advisor. I'm no trainer. No, not me, but I sure can give you winning advice. So listen, Haruko uses Dark type. It's a fragile type that won't take any fighting move, but can deal out a massive damage with their rapacious talents and big teeth. No one's bested. And no, I'm not gonna use Flash, I don't care.
How did this guy not? Okay.
I'm going to preemptively save. But that, not like it matters, because I'm not gonna save state anyways. I feel confident enough in this game not crashing or whatever. It's dark in here, the dark is good for dark types, wow. Film student. Filming in pitch darkness. I bet he gets an A on the freaking black screen he submits for his final project. Okay, level 22, that's pretty okay. Sure is a good thing Kajillip has Mach Punch. Yard. Pirate. With Meowth, which, like last time, I wasn't informed of this until last time. But a person in chat, Ahmed AS, I believe, they informed me that apparently Meowth and its evolution in this game are normal dark type. So that's why this captain guy has that. Captain Man.
I never saw this part before. This guy writes his own resume, uploads it to a job website, and let me guess, tries to use that as proof.
As proof for what?
That he's the real guy.
Oh my god! Kraken says, hey, yo, I saw that you've been streaming a Nuzlocke.
I've been noticing messages about that appearing. I'm surprised you haven't posted an XS instead of my piece of shit server, because mine is terrible, and nobody follows it. I want to delete that fucking place so much, but there's a lot of history there.
Yeah, I would just keep it as like an archive server. I'm listening until I get my Pokemon back to the way they were because my computer crashed. Oh, you didn't get to save. And it went back to the beginning of my stream from yesterday. So there's gonna be part 2 or 3, I think. I forget what part you're on.
Is that the... Reminds me of, Reminds me of Nintendo Capri Sun, who had an issue with hard drives dying in the early days.
At least it's not a complete hard drive failure. That'd be detrimental.
But that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He was playing Secret of Mana, and his hard drive died, the one with the save file on it for the playthrough.
That's awful. Hopefully he wasn't too far into it, because RPG games, especially JRPGs, tend to
I think it was about halfway in.
Dang.
So what did he do? He played through it again, got to the point where he was in the video, and then continued.
Wow. Dedication. Rocker Beldum. Which I believe Beldum is a Pokemon. Also, they have a Shinx, which is not from Gen 3 at all.
The Shinx?
Rare Candy Hacks.
Is that Gen 4?
Yeah, that's Gen 4. That's Sinnoh mine. And watch through walls, got to be where, but I can't delete the cheats. I think you should be able to deactivate them.
I can't delete the cheats because I don't know.
Is this dark electric? It must be because I'm killing it. Let's get JK. And a loot seeker. I can deactivate, no, but not remove my, remove from my file. Yeah, then you should still be able to play normally. What really counts is that you just don't have them on all the time, since that can actually cause problems, such as corrupting the save file. Is this it? Yep, okay. Save right here.
It's a radio station called KCWC.
K quick.
Which is this. Yeah. But there's a problem here. He says he's in Virginia. So why isn't it WCWC?
What? Quick. Something nasty at the bottom of solar caverns, and I'd like you to investigate. Come back, I'll fight you. Alright. So it's gonna be... I think in Heart, Gold, Soul, Silver, the Dragon Lady was like that. She wouldn't fight you until you went to the, like, the Dragon Lake or whatever.
Oh.
And, showed that you were competent or something like that. But anyways, we have to go down to that spooky cave now.
It's gonna be like a giant dragon, right?
Yeah.
Or
Maybe
a zombie dragon, right?
Yeah, a giant zombie. It's gonna be something like that. Or either that or it's like a demon. I forget demons are in this game. My level 12 Magikarp can run from a level 46 Machoke. That's amazing, and also, how does a fish run? I mean, aside from... That freaking reminds me, in Pokemon Heart Gold, I have I believe an Electrode? I forget its name, but its little, like, flavor text description for its nature is that it likes to run. Even though it's literally a sphere with eyes and a mouth. It can't run if it wanted to, it can only roll. Like... Ooh, I barely made it out of there alive. There's something down there, kids. Something real nasty. I don't even want to think about it. Yep, it's gonna be some, like, Cthulhian monstrosity, already calling it now. I'm going to go back to stream. The Pokemon are back to how they were before they crashed. Level 100 bad egg? Yeah, it's not a real bad egg. This is actually a Pokemon. It's part of the lore of this hack or whatever. There it was again. Whatever it is, I'm getting closer. somehow familiar. Sundance Rock. Isn't there a television station called Sundance?
Oh gosh, this guy doesn't know what he just did here.
I don't know what I did just now, but there's a really interesting new Fakemon.
It's literally a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's a piece of shit with like a golden, like, robot arm. Very angry eyes. It appears to be a sprite hack of, like, robot arm. Very angry. Oh my gosh, mirroring.
Is that Discord your Discord?
It should be mine. Okay, bye, see you sometime. Yeah, I'll see if I can't catch one of your, Nuzlocke streams live. I've only seen them after the fact. Freaking YouTube notifications sucks.
I think that's my Discord.
Is it? I think this is the one that you, updated, though.
Whoa.
Oh, I'm gonna catch it.
First, I don't have any server settings.
Pokeball. They're freaking
I can't tell. Okay, bye. See you sometime. That's the server.
Okay, I need to check something Minecraft. Okay. Hombone, eh? Hombone, the rock skin Pokemon. Hombone lies there and takes blows all day long. It absorbs the energy of hits it stores up. This energy can be unleashed. Certain magics.
This just turned into /D.
Oh my god! Yeah, I finally got the unreg in a position where I can see it. And yeah, the freaking screen is just pixelized. No, I will not nickname Hombone. I think it's perfect. Do you like things that Google recommended that other people also searched for? Yeah, the freaking long list of related, very slightly, based on keywords alone, things that you posted. Just goes on and on. Some of it's kind of scary. Can we get a... don't want to risk it. I'm gonna go ahead and try and get like a level up on these guys. Starting with what nitpicks.
Anyway. This porn right here that's pixelized.
Yeah.
He blurted out in such a way that, if you notice the pixels themselves, they fade in between colors.
Yeah, he like double blurred it to make sure that YouTube couldn't pick up even a scent of this Sonotube.
No, that's
bullshit.
not how it works. What the pixels blur, like as the picture moved, like basically what he did, he took the original artwork, made it move across the screen, then pixelized the video.
Ah, okay.
Which means that you take multiple frames, you can reconstruct the original picture.
Wait, seriously? How is it possible? Like, you'd have to... First of all, I feel like you'd probably have to, like... spend an enormous amount of time doing that.
Now you can do it with a computer program.
Dang.
And it won't be perfect quality, but I think it would be good enough to see things.
Yeah. Freaking Christian documentary. Oh, here's another Cinnamon. It's Nose Pass. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna cut it. Leviathan. Sir. Freaking Hombo. I'd like to ask, what is this Pokemon's name? Why is it like that? Nosepass was one of the first gym leader's Pokemon in... It was in Gen 3. Wait, Nosepass was... Nosepass Gen 3? I never played the original Gen 3 games, so I wouldn't know. I literally only knew Nosepass from Sinnoh.
Oh.
But if it was, it's pretty fortunate that I got an evolution literally the next gen. It's even more fortunate that I got an evolution at all, unlike nowadays. Right, introduced in Generation. Wow, really? I did not know that. Holy crap. Typically I know what gens Pokemon come out in, but I did not know that at all about Nosepass. I always associated with Gen 4.
What the fuck is this shit?
Okay. I know Gen 3 like the back of my hand besides Emerald. Yeah, I really need to actually, like, legit play those games. That way I can, like, compare them, because I have played a Gen 3 game before, but it's the remakes. I played, Alpha Sapphire, which I know is quite, like, it's very similar, but it definitely has some significant differences, in terms of some of the, like, story elements here and there. And also there's no Battle Frontier, which is okay, because it had there been a Battle Frontier, I probably would have never completed it anyways. But it's still stupid that it didn't have one. Especially since that was in the original. You don't freaking take away features. Most you should do is add, which they did, but they also took away on some features. Oh! Leviathan is level 5. Okay. 25. Let's move it to okay. I'm glad this video, the Geno Samuel offers subtitles, because now I can technically kind of watch the video.
Nice.
I'm going for daily streams. One of these days, we will make the stream. Yeah, I'll definitely, yeah, if you're streaming tomorrow or something like that, I'll keep an eye out for it. I'll just make sure to generally keep an eye out for it so I can drop in and take a look. Hotbone sucks. JK can barely nudge you. Just gonna pour sludge on it. God.
These YouTube transcriptions suck.
Yeah, it's because of, Chris's accent. Anything with an accent, YouTube's auto-English does not, translate very well.
Yeah.
Also, Q has an eye. Super potion.
Your job was to vote for me and nothing else.
Yeah, okay. Do you know yourself after since I'm the real change your vote?
Isn't that technically bribery?
Yeah, that's bribery. It's like, I just dedicated 2 White Stripe songs for you during a recent KCWC the Light Everything lunch hour.
Just so that you would vote for me.
Yeah. He did everything for you. Hey, vote. Okay, bye. Alright, see ya. There's no people. Oh, shit. Whatever. Bye. Are you gonna order the freaking audiobook? I will not.
Oh god. This guy doxed himself.
Yeah. Chris was so bent. Was so bent on believing that he needed to show that he was truly the truest. That he's like literally telling people his like family's history.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Oh my god. They're both poison types. That's why it takes so freaking... And is it restoring right now?
I don't know.
Well, whatever, it's poison. Yeah, I think it has leftovers. Oh shit, JK's dead. Whatever. Let's go. Is it paying full attention? Come on, come on. Big bomb. You missed, eh? Freaking heck. Fight isn't even that good of a move. Takes 3 turns for a decent amount of normal damage. Oh, that's pretty good. Shadow. These tom things. Oh my god. One shot. Okay. Why did I do that? That was stupid. Oh, that's not. I'm just gonna run.
I guess Chris didn't fucking understand the music at the end.
Yeah.
Which clearly said that they'll meet again. No, like, what does music mean? That couldn't mean anything, it's just music for the end.
Yeah. Like, it literally did not register in Chris's head any of the nuance.
Yeah.
Which is bizarre, because Chris has even done that type of, like, symbolic nuance himself. Such as in his, I believe it was during the Blue Spike episode, where Blue Spike was posing as someone named Julie, and he got, I think it was Blue Spike who did this, but he manipulated Chris into like making, I think, a total of 2 videos admitting to his closeted homosexuality.
Yeah.
During the video where Chris is admitting his gayness, he does a clever thing where you can tell that he's not being true and honest with the audience and does not stand by the words because he's not wearing his medallion, and he's sitting with like an Optimus Prime on his lap, and you can see his Sailor Moon poster in the background, and that's symbolism for the audience to sort of note that he's not agreeing to these messages.
He's talking under duress.
Yeah. Like a little sign, I guess.
But it
like,
makes me wonder, like...
So he's capable of doing it himself, but he can't, like, see other nuances, I guess.
Yeah. I was, like, wondering, like... If he can't see it himself, and the only, like, what little he has, is just because he's trying to emulate other people.
Yeah.
That he doesn't understand the meaning. Kind of like how a parrot will say words, but it's just sound to them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very similar. But, I mean, there's some meaning to it, like, the meaning for him not wearing his medallion means that he's not being true and honest. The meaning for the sailor...
I don't know why not having the medallion would be like that.
Basically, he's not like his Chris Chan self. The medallion is what gives him the power. And is his truly marking characteristic.
Pretty much, actually.
Yeah, it's essentially his magic MacGuffin item, and if he's not wearing it, then something's clearly gone awry.
But there's a, you know, the medallion, everybody knows. Everybody who knows Chris Chan knows the medallion.
Yeah.
So, there's some truth to that.
Yeah, and then the second symbolism, the Sailor Moon poster, is symbolism of straightness. Yeah. And then the final symbolism, Optimus Prime, is symbolism of, I guess, like, binary gender roles or something like that, because during his like Yep I'm on TV compilation, one of the special messages he put at the end was about like how girls should learn more about boys stuff by playing with Transformers, because Transformers are for boys, and
Wow.
yeah, and boys should play more with girls stuff so they can know more about how girls think by having them play
That's
with
like-
My Little Ponies.
That's like the fucking worst part of 80s and 90s marketing right there.
Yeah. Is that?
And they fucking took that shit hook.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
simple.
freaking they certainly didn't get everyone if you look at nowadays, because plenty of either genders. In fact, I'd say there's probably like a strange, like overwhelming lean of like women being into Transformers and men being into My Little Pony. At least a very vocal and visual minority. At the very least. I'm sure there's been papers published about this. But clearly they are not as gendered as Chris implied them to be. But anyways, that's why he had the Optimus Prime. Is because it's a signifier of maleness, of straight, God-given maleness. It's gonna freaking bite and it's gonna nuke him. Okay, now I'll switch back. Ooh, freak. Okay. The pick sucks.
Funny thing is, a lot of Sega, a lot of people involved with Sega know about Sonichu.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
nowadays.
It's probably one of the most famous or more like infamous Sonic fan characters ever.
Yeah.
Like, name me one other Sonic fan character. You probably can, but it's certainly not at the same scope and scale.
I don't think I could. I mean, I'd consider that to be a good thing.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. There's some that I remember singing. Like, there was this, like, I think Newgrounds animation that I saw ages ago. It wasn't on Newgrounds, it was on YouTube. It was like this anime battle, like this DBZ type shit of like Supersonic and Shadow and whatever versus this evil red hedgehog who was like essentially just Broly or something like that. I don't know. I forget its name, so that just goes to show that even if I can kind of remember a semi-prominent Sonic fan character, clearly Sonichu has outlasted most of them at least. Jesus Christ, Ignipix, you suck. You know what, I don't care. I'm gonna finish leveling with these guys.
Why is he screaming?
You are the imposter.
he had to fucking... He had to, like, stop there to remember Liquid Chris's characteristics.
Yeah.
How old was this guy at the time?
I'm sure the quickie says, but I don't know. All I know is that apparently, Liquid Chris's father was like a rock star or wrestler or something like that. But anyways, he was like extremely cool. And clearly, like, Liquid Chris, just from a basic standpoint, has a lot more talent inherently than even Chris Chan does. And even though Chris's dad, was a fairly prominent figure in, I believe, like, I think it was like the electronics industry at the time, before, like, Liquid Chris's dad is, like, literally the embodiment of, like, cool dad. And was presumably not, like, semi-abusive, like in the case of Chris's mother. With her, like, manipulation.
So, this is 2009.
Yeah.
He was 27 in this video.
Chris or Liquid Chris?
Chris.
Yeah. So he's almost 30 in this video.
And he's almost 40 now.
Yeah, which is insane! I can't believe it!
Fucking 40-year-old infant.
Yeah, 40-year-old infant yells at Cloud. It's basically, Chris's Twitter in a nutshell. Like, legit. That's how amazingly vapid the content is. No results for 40-year-old infant?
I searched for man infant. It's like man-child, but even worse.
Yeah. When you're a man-child, you know, you act childish. But at least you don't have to get taken care of constantly. You're just a nuisance to be around. And, like, beg for care. But if you're a man-infant, like, literally... They need to, like, make sure you don't get a hold of a pair of scissors. Or else, like, it could be a death sentence, because that's literally how stupid and inept they are.
Yeah.
You can only, like, give Chris, like, the plastic scissors that are, like, super dull and barely cut.
Yeah.
And if you try to use them on construction paper, just forget it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's amazing how Chris has somehow both evolved and devolved over time. Especially in regards to his mental state. I don't know where it's at, but it's certainly even... I'd say it's even worse than it is now in this 2009 video.
Yeah.
By far.
I mean, he's getting older.
He's getting older and he's, like, getting a god complex. Like, he sort of believes himself to be a prophet of sorts for this dimension that he always goes on about. So that's certainly not something 2009 Chris would have done.
Wasn't there a Wait, did he seriously yell at a cloud?
No. No, that's a stupid, like, Simpsons joke. There is a scene in The Simpsons of, like, a newspaper, and on it is written, "Old man yells at cloud," and it's Homer Simpson's father yelling at a cloud.
Fair enough.
It's just irrelevant humor.
To be fair, that might be what Chris Chan does eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, is they really that bad? I mean, 'cause
Yeah,
I
like it
believe
really. When you put it in Chris's context, and you don't know the meme, that definitely sounds like something that legit would happen. Especially with Chris believing in a lot of the theoretics nowadays, such as like positive energy healing and just psycho healing, dream theory. He recently like had a long Twitter thread about how to lucid dream. He says, and really it just seems like he's just observing the symptoms of REM sleep more than anything.
Yeah.
While also daydreaming at the same time.
I don't know if lucid dreaming would be fucking great or terrible for him.
Yeah, I mean, it would probably be great, cause, like, he's technically married to a few of his characters.
It would allow him to live out all his fantasies and shit.
Yeah.
And then get bored of it.
Yeah, and maybe he might have a slim chance of, like, stopping it.
But at the same time, if he can't stop him, or, you know, if he could learn some even more insane.
Yeah. Cause it's like one of the dream characters could say something really irreverent and he'd take that as like a calling of sorts. Like a message.
That would be like 2004 all over again.
Yeah. Freaking heck.
It's like, it'd be complete and utter nonsense to us.
Yeah, it'd be like his husband, Magi-chan would say something like, drink Ovaltine, because Chris has like 0 original thoughts, so it'd obviously be a reference.
Mm-hmm.
Drink more Ovaltine, or maybe it'd be like a conglomerate reference, where it's like Ovaltine is the way for salvation, and then he'll wake up and he'll go on Twitter and he'll like tell everyone his amazing revelation. It's like the way we can summon the dimensional merge to go faster is by drinking more Ovaltine. I know because Magi-chan told me in a dream I had this morning.
Does that still exist?
What still exists?
Ovaltine.
I don't actually know. I don't think I've ever seen it, but then again, I've never looked for it in the market.
I think I remember commercials way back in the day.
I'm not even sure if I've ever seen an Ovaltine commercial. I'm sure it possibly does, if not something like it.
Well, otherwise, anyway, if it does, then they'd probably get a like from their Twitter.
Yeah, maybe instead of becoming like the freaking prophet of Sonichu, maybe Chris Chan can actually be like truly useful for once and become like an advertising agent by being sensational and crazy. At the very least, it would get all the freaking wings and trolls who follow him around to like buy Ovaltine.
At least if fucking hell.
Okay, now we can move on.
I'm surprised he doesn't do a curse Mehameha.
Yeah.
I think I said that right.
Curse Yehameha. Even though he like retconned it as Shin Yehameha. Or like, cause there was people tend to forget, and it tends to flip-flop, considering a lot of people don't legitimize the revisions to the Sonichu lore because it's...
Fuck that shit.
Yeah, because it freaking... It messed a lot of things up, especially if you try and legitimize everything that he's done with it since the idea guys started. Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Plus, the original is always better. For the most part, at least with Chris' case.
The idea guys' ideas are like... They're terrible, but they're also like... fundamentally better.
Yeah.
Like, they're fundamentally more creative than Chris's.
Yeah, since they actually... Like, most of the time the idea guys are doing this because they have a certain, like, agenda they want to push for the story.
Mm-hmm.
So they actually have a plan, whereas Chris, he doesn't even understand what they're saying most of the time. He adds it in anyways, because the idea guys have spoken. He treats them as, like spirit channelers, almost. Like, they channel the spirit. Like, how they work is like, or at least how they were described to work initially, was they would pretend to be a character from Chris's comic, and he would, like, RP with them. And then from there, they would reveal secret info, secret, like, revelations of the dimension and the characters within it. Which, of course, Chris would take as fact.
Because they'd roleplay as characters from their idea guys would roleplay as characters from his comic.
Yeah.
And then tell him shit, which he would then take as fact.
Yes. You could even see some of the chat logs on the Quickie.
That would actually be pretty fun. That sounds pretty funny.
Yeah, it's
like,
freaking...
And I don't know why, but I guess he thinks he's talking to the real characters.
Yeah, that's the main thing, is that Chris appears, the reason why it seems to work so well on him, is that it appears Chris legitimately believes that he's talking to, like, a real, our-worldly manifestation of a character that he truly believes exists in an alternate dimension. Which, I mean, technically speaking, there's nothing saying that they don't exist in an alternate dimension. But at the same time, legitimately believing that and then basing your entire, like, world on that dimension with zero proof of it ever existing ever forever. Like, especially if it's shit you created.
Yeah.
It's like making your own lies and then lying to yourself. Anyways, there's that voice again, or that roar.
Making your own lies, then lying to yourself so much that you actually believe it.
That's literally what Chris has done to himself. Oh my god. It's crazy. It's both fascinating and crazy. I feel like...
Almost reminds me of 1984.
Yeah. What is that? Ah!
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh shit! Is that a memory? But of what? Let me save.
There it is.
Yeah, ha! And he freaking, like, clips the mic, he screams so loud. Freaking heck. Imagine, like, being in the same house as that.
Oh my god.
Like, you just hear your freaking, like, autistic son screeching all day, every day.
You don't care anymore by that point.
Yeah, it's literally like... it's like the equivalent of, like, the 90s sort of stereotype where, like, the kids playing rock and roll music too loud, so the old dad, like, takes his cane and, like, hits the ceiling.
Yeah.
That's basically what his, like, parents do. They probably don't even do that, actually. Most of the time, they seem to react with extreme apathy towards Chris. Like they know he's a lost cause or something.
So there's a there's some actor playing Chris Chan with and Liquid Chris is acting like he's restrained here.
Yeah, Liquid Chris is. Wonder how long he had to study Chris's videos to make sure he like perfectly captured his mannerism.
Yeah,
because it's like legit impressive.
I'm pretty sure the audio's dubbed in.
Yeah.
Like the guy hanging like the guy on the other side of the camera is just a random like. They're one of the guys that helped him out with this, and the audio of Chris in this case,
yeah,
is actually Liquid Chris of the audio.
Oh shit! Are we gonna finally fight whatever this is? You, huh? What is this?
That's... oh shit, I can't... oh shit, there's things...
Meteor, our contract is terminated, human. We have joined the Horsemen now. I remember you now. You're Meteor, the Dragon King. Who the frick?
It's just suddenly turned into fucking...
RPG shit?
Yeah.
Yes, I am Meteor. I thought the Pestilence had arranged for your death. Apparently, so she did.
Let me guess, now this is like Half-Life.
Yeah, this is like,
there's
like underground conspiracies, G-Man shit.
And secretly aliens.
Yeah,
Alien
it's all
zombies.
Alamouse. It's all Alamouse.
And they've taken over the world.
Yeah, and they open... It's alien demons. They're demons, but they're from Mars.
Yeah.
I suppose I will have to finish the job that she could not complete. Do you really have to preface every sentence with a roar? It's really startling. Silence! I will eradicate you!
I should really, like, watch this stream.
Yeah, Dragon King Meteor, and it's just a shiny Charizard. Like a JPEG sprite.
A JPEG sprite.
And it has the Pokemon known as Dragon! It's Charizard but green, and it looks a little bit more dragon-y, I guess.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I think this is the Japery that I was hoping to see at long last.
Nice.
I think we're finally getting some Jape. What the fuck? Where'd it go? Oh, it used fly. I was like, did it like legit disappear?
Also, you can tell that this guy's voice right here is you can definitely tell that the person behind the camera is Liquid Chris.
Yeah, definitely. Critical hit, ouch. Bite. Oh, you're trying to heal your Pokemon. Well, I can heal you. 27 life potion, go.
Let me guess, Chris Channel will believe that.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a digging. Guess I'll sand attack.
Question Russian channel. This is what YouTube thinks it said.
The real question of Russian channel. Cause everybody internet. That's like sounds like Vietnamese crystal. Impossible! Can it be? You did not lose all your power? Not a single digit
Oh
of
my
my
God.
power level has depleted.
You know what we need?
What?
We need, like, shitty YouTube need Pokemon YouTube transcriber version.
Yeah, we need to, like, do it from the English text-to-speech voice. That way,
Yeah.
like, it's got an accent which makes it naturally less likely to be translated properly.
Yeah.
That's what we need. Go! We will meet again, mark my words. I will not be able to destroy this town right now, but I will be back soon enough. Woo, what was that about? What power is that? Is it that I lost? Arg, this is so confusing. I better tell Haruko about this.
What power?
I don't know. Not even the protagonist knows.
There's supposed to be some lore that he had until this battle?
Like, he keeps getting visions of, like, past events that he doesn't remember since he has amnesia. So, it's possible he has some sort of, like spirit channeling power or some shit, or some, like, main character protection that he doesn't know about. But maybe we'll find out one day.
You know, he keeps saying that his father, he's basically just admitted that his father goes on and on and on about bullshit.
Yeah.
Which means that his father probably was telling him how stupid he was, but he didn't have any of it.
Yeah. Of course, it's certainly not relevant to Chris. Yes, I am. Oh, never mind. Ran to a trainer I didn't beat.
Also, this is him backpedaling on the song contest.
Yeah.
Also, a song contest to determine who's the real person.
Yeah, especially considering we all know who Chris is because he sings horribly.
Yeah. I don't think there was any doubt who the real Christian.
Yeah, but the fact that Chris didn't even question it, he just went along with it. Like, oh, this is my chance to prove I really am who I say I am, when, like, anyone with actual common sense would know that this is not even worth dealing with. Regardless of whether or not Chris thought it was like, oh, this is obviously some troll shit, I guess I'll play along. Like, it's still stupid that he played along, and that he still, like, gets legitimately butthurt about it.
Yeah.
Which implies that he really didn't think about it at all, and just simply thought, like, simply heard what they said about having a contest to see who truly is the real Chris, and who is this alleged Ian Brandon Anderson. And literally his brain went, yes, this is a legitimate way of determining this, and I shall participate.
I don't think this man's thought more than fucking... This person hasn't had a complex thought in his entire life.
Yeah.
Unless you count that one Sonichu comic with Patty in it.
Yeah. Where, granted, that was heavily inspired by Sailor Moon, but at the same time he actually drew something that, for all that we know, is original from his brain. He made his dog into an OC. And as far as we know, the only thing it's ripping off is that it takes heavy inspiration from Sailor Moon, in terms of the costume design.
But also, the very end of that comic, there's at the very end of that comic, there's a dedication to Patty, which is completely serious, no fictional stuff going on.
Yeah. The one time where Chris actually got serious.
The one time where his grasp on reality actually made sense. But it almost makes you wonder if he actually knows that all this is bullshit.
Yeah, it really does.
And that he's... But then again, why would you fucking... Like, I mean, here's one thing. There's one thing to play along and say that all your fictional characters are real. One thing to do that. It's another thing. It's another thing to, let me think. It's another thing to convince yourself that there's a dimensional merge and then you'll be rich when it's done. And then get into debt, hoping that you'll be able to pay it off once it happens.
Yeah, like that's delusions that are literally going to be like the end of this. Like those are legit, like deathly delusions. Like actual threats. Not like freaking like little petty bullshit that's like, oh yeah, that's super crazy, but at least he's not in like a scary life situation, right? No,
yeah.
He is in a scary life situation, and he doesn't appear to be addressing it with any amount of seriousness at all. Because it's like, oh,
right.
It'll all be great. One day.
Well, this company just sued me for debt. Oh, but that'll be okay, because I'll be able to pay it off once the dimensional merge happens.
Yeah.
That's nice. Not to mention he got into it because he thought the dimensional merge would happen.
Yeah.
That's just fucking, like, lock this person up kind of shit.
Yeah. Like, legit. He's gone from being, like, just, like, haha, funny, this guy is obviously, like, freaking not well in the head, but, you know, he's not really doing much harm. He's just kind of, like, weird and easy to laugh at. Like, it goes from being, like, haha funny to, like, actually, like, serious shit that needs to have, like, actual issues addressed.
Reminds me of Justin RPG, who's like that.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's like, you know, he's easy to laugh at. He's fucking, like, he's terrible and he's easy to laugh at. But he doesn't really hurt him. He doesn't really hurt anybody.
Yeah.
This guy, I mean, all that needs to be, you just need to see the fucking pepper spray video.
Yeah, where he peppered sprayed some guy in GameStop for literally freaking nothing.
For fucking nothing. Oh, it was the blue arms of Sonic.
Yeah! He sprayed a guy! He sicked pepper spray on a guy because Sonic's arms were blue. A GameStop employee who had no relation to Sega. He just worked there. And here comes this freaking man-child, like, defacing the property because he didn't like how a character's arms were drawn in a video game. And he assaulted someone for it. Like,
how the hell did this guy not get put in prison?
Probably because insanity plea. And if that's the case, how did he not get put into a home? Like, I don't think... Well, actually, I do not believe that the GameStop employee pressed charges. And I think the reason why is because, either he just didn't want to get involved in it, or not. I don't know. Either way, nothing ever happened to Chris because of that. I'm gonna pause the game real quick, and I'll be right back. And then we'll battle this gym leader.
Yeah. r/Christian Sonetry. What is this video? So this is a GameStop employee, and When was this uploaded? This is only a few months ago. So this video was uploaded by a GameStop employee. We've got Chris Chan. Oh my god. Chris Chan's trying to buy a Pokeball Plus.
Okay, man.
A new one.
A new one?
Okay. I didn't even realize that you'd left.
That's fair.
Or maybe I just forgot, which means that there's something fucking wrong. But yeah, this video that I'm watching right now. It's not the
I've
same
seen this
video.
one.
Yeah. This is a GameStop employee where he buys a Pokeball. It's Chris Chan, and he buys another Pokeball Plus.
Yeah, which
So
is...
another one. Like, I mean, you know what I thought about that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, when this shit was first announced.
What is it gonna do? Dual wield? Freaking...
Yeah, like, I mean, first of all, what the hell happened to the original? Why do you need another one?
Probably freaking destroyed it. Unintentionally.
Wow. But why would you get one in the first place? It's so bad.
Because, like, it's... You... I believe Quickie has an entire article on it. You can see, like, the rate of purchases that Chris has made, and he has apparently played, like, pretty much every game that he's ever been interested on, like, any console he's owned, aside from the Hex box, for obvious reasons. Like, he just plays anything. He buys tons of games, and he spends all of his time playing them. What time he's not spending, like, making Sonichu or making irrelevant content.
And, what about Pokemon?
I'm assuming he must still play I'm sure he's gonna get Sword and Shield. He's gonna get both of them.
And before he gets another Pokeball Plus?
Yeah. Even though I don't think Pokeball Plus, I don't think is compatible with Sword and Shield. But I'm sure he'd get another one, you know, just because of the thought.
I'm sure that he already got LGPE.
Oh yeah, that's the only reason that he got it in the first place, is that's like an alternate controller for LGPE.
Yeah, a game that's so simple that it's only a joystick and a button.
It's literally the Atari controller.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Now we just need to get, like, Atari controllers, like, an Atari controller adapter for the Switch. So that would be great. Anyways, did you find out what was causing the rumors? This is a really great, Pokemon set, by the way. Literally, most of it is just talking about Chris Chan. Yeah, there was a group of dragons. A group? There was 2 dragons. Apparently they came with the zombies. I knew it! I'll have to get the old anti-air gun working again. Anyways, thanks. Now show me your true power. What the frick is your outfit? You look like an earthbound enemy.
Needs
Freaking heck. Haruko is a legit issue. I wouldn't know, because I don't know how different the gym leaders are compared to the original game and the remakes. Whatever Sledge.
So, did this guy, did Chris Chan, literally make a new character called Wem?
Called what?
Well, I have no idea, but there's a, well, obviously the Pokeball Plus has Mew in it when you first get it.
Yeah.
And I hear Christian talking all about, like, I think he said this Pokeball Plus says women. And obviously that's Mew spelled backwards.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? Like, is that what he does? Like, gets these things and then imagines them to contain Pokemon?
Possibly. Or maybe he just uses, like... He's always looking for signs in his work. Signs of a greater, purpose. Because he has no purpose in his actual life, so he has to find fantasy signs to create purpose. And he probably is just noticing something very minute about the details, then vocalizing it, because maybe he thinks it could have meaning. So it's possible Len could be a real thing that he does at some point, but I don't know when this video came out, but it doesn't seem like he has.
Why would a Mew that's called Whim be important?
He could probably write it into his comic if he's still working on it. He's been really slow. He's still making the comic actually, but he's been really slow about making it.
Right.
And it's been very corrupted because of the idea guys and their fantastic super brain power in combination with Chris Chan's autism have created a beast more unruly than even the original Sonichu lore. What am I doing? Sneasel is gonna literally destroy Impipig, so I better back out.
Sneasel.
Shit.
Is that like a fucking... Is that like an evil Sneasel?
No, it's actually the sprite for this game. Or not like this hack, but it's the sprite for Gen 3. It does kind of look sinister though. Jillip is literally a cure-all for this gym.
I need to clean up more.
It's not Luxray's call, by the way. I believe that's like plus it. You kid. Sludge. Okay, just freaking nuke it. Okay.
Pokemon anime discussion board. And... oh, it's just screenshots of what looks like the league.
Sir. Wait, that's really stupid. Why am I doing head? Oh! Okay.
Oh my god,
Leviathan can die.
The YouTube transcriber thinks that Chris Chan's voice is music.
It's music to its ears. How great. It's almost poetic. I couldn't soft boil in time.
I guess
20
he.
points?
So he wanted to buy a Pokeball Plus and an old style 2DS.
Wow.
And I guess they didn't have any 2DSs like that, but he got the Pokeball Plus anyway. I wonder if he's gonna get sued for all of his fucking... like...
For all of his bullshit.
You know, first of all, I was thinking maybe he'll get sued for all these frivolous gaming. You know, like, oh, it looks like he's in debt.
Yeah.
He's gonna get sued eventually.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
I mean, possibly, since he rewrote a lot of his comic to not feature certain licensed characters. This is the worst thing I'm doing right now, by the way. Let me think.
I'm so... If I was
He still
smarter,
includes Pokemon in his stuff, though, which is a licensed thing. Same for, like, ponies and Hasbro. And Hasbro's known for being, like, really corporate. And not liking when people, like, do stuff with their things.
Are they American?
It should be.
Or are they,
What the frick is this?
I don't know.
It's a circle with eyes!
And you thought that one balloon Pokemon was bad.
Yeah. Because it's literally a circle with, like, a little tiny face and a tail. This is literally a circle with eyes. It got worse.
It got worse. That's like Circle to a Pokemon.
Yeah. Who should have... Who can do this? Okay.
Reminds me of Missing. Kind of.
Oh, it's level 1. What?
It's level 1. Is that a glitch?
Is this a joke? With Nightshade. Does a total of 1 damage. You're fucking dead. Wait, or not? Use tackle. Avoided the damage with Wonder Guard! Oh no.
Wonder Guard.
I don't know what it's weak to.
Is that? Oh shit! No.
Let me think.
What would Wonder Guard do?
Wonder Guard makes it so that only super effective moves work on it.
I bet this Pokemon is like 255 in all stats.
Yeah.
Except for HP.
It's like when you finally find its weakness, it does 3 damage.
Yeah.
You can sit on this and wait for a while. I'll try and Mach Punch again. Cause like, it should be a dark type. But it avoided the damage with Wonder Guard.
Do you have anything that'll attack this guy?
That's,
What if this
I need
guy...
I need to ask Google for help.
What if this is the end of the game?
Yeah, what if none of my Pokemon can do anything? Oh no. Oh
like,
no.
Cause I'm thinking like, oh, the game beyond this point is incomplete. How do you block player off? How about an unwinnable battle?
Yeah, no, there should be like a whole trade quest and everything. This can't be the end. So, okay. What the Bulbapedia? Why are you having pop-ups? Stop.
Because they're Nazis.
Yeah, well, that's probably the case. King Mario. Almost sounds like a Mario character. Like a fake Mario fan character.
$52.64. Everyone that is donating, thanks for helping him get video games while Barb dies from starvation in the corner.
Yep. Freaking heck.
The first comment, and I don't know if I should say this on YouTube. I mean, I could say that these aren't my words, these are this YouTube commenter's words, but that YouTube is too stupid to know that.
Yeah. Ghost Dark. What is it? What is it? Mario, therefore, no attack can hit it other than the dark move beat up or the psychic. It's recommended to use a status effect like Toxic, or wait for either you or King Mario or your Pokemon to struggle to death. They're freaking memeing so hard right now. They knew what they were doing when they made this Pokemon. This is a malicious joke. I guess I'll poison it if I can. And JK will literally heal forever, which I'm okay with, so I might be able to outlast this. No. No. How many PP does it got? 20 and 15. I think we can do this, guys. Wow, this is good. Very good. I'm gonna enjoy this battle. Struggling, huh? Look at that damage! That's a lot of damage.
Oh god.
It's struggling itself to death. This is the worst Pokemon. Like...
struggle is typeless.
Yeah, it's typeless.
But that means that's why it hurts him.
Yeah.
It ran out of PP, so it's struggling itself to death. So that's how...
That reminds me of, in Heart Gold, when I attempted to catch Articuno, it took literally all of my Pokeballs, since the thing wouldn't get in the ball, and then it ends up struggling itself to death. And I hadn't saved the entire time. So when I turned off the DS, since I wasn't going to just let it kill itself like that, after it had disposed of literally all of my Pokeballs, of which I had probably like 50 in total.
That's why you don't use a regular Pokeball unless you wanted it to be a
I wasn't using regular Pokeballs. I was using Dusk Balls and Ultra Balls.
Oh.
Which made sense because it was in a cave, and Dusk Balls worked well in caves. So yeah, it burnt through literally everything. I got into my Apricot Balls. Like, literally. And then it started struggling itself to death. And I'm just sitting there, like, flabbergasted. It was like, I think an entire hour had passed during that fight. Because it was slightly over-leveled compared to my Pokemon. So I was like, no, this is not happening. So I turned off my DS. And when I turned it back on, I realized I hadn't saved that entire time. And I was back at the mouth of the cave. So I never caught Articuno. Simple as that. Okay, cool, it's dead, we won. Just as expected from a Slayer of Dragons. Received the Miasma badge from Haruko. I also have one of these TM08. I inherited these TMs from Brawley, the previous owner of this gym. They contain bulk up, a move that raises both attack and defense. That was probably the most absurd and stupid gym leader fight I've ever had. Oh, my phone's ringing. The Poke phone is ringing. Hello? It's me. Did you find anything about Landon and May? Oops, forgot to ask anyone. But I did kill 2 dragons. That's besides the point. Stop wasting time slaying monsters and find my daughter and your brother. Okay, I'll ask around. Someone here will know something. See to it that you do. But maybe I should ask her. No shit. Alright. Continuing on with the epic story. Alright. Let's try this house. Oh wait, this is that freaking guy. Hey, have you seen my brother by any chance? He's the Pokemon champion. I'm looking for him. Oh yeah, he surfed over here a couple weeks ago. No, with May. He'd found something amazing up in the desert and he was going back for it. Thanks, kid. Now let's see. Falling Birch. Hello? It's me, I found a clue. Huh, what is it? Where's the desert? Surf east, then north to Slateport, then go south through Marvel. The desert is just north of there. Thanks. Damn. It sounded awesomely cryptic there. Is he like gauging himself for how cool he can word sentences? Let's go. Also, damn. Where's that damn 4th Chaos Emerald, huh? End of a never-ending saga. Who, how, and why. Hypothetical discussion. Oh, is this them discussing the end of Chris?
Possibly.
You see, there's an old image of Barb in the form of Snorlax.
His mom is fat, useless breeding dump for tumors, just waiting to die in her sleep. Likely he'll probably just nothing until she starts to mummify.
Oh my god. I mean, their house isn't as bad as it is in that photo. No. Considering a lot of their crap burnt up and got, like, thrown away.
And she still didn't kill herself.
Yeah. She still didn't kill herself. And she's actually now, like, super skinny compared to how she is in that image. She also apparently got like freaking the Quickie article says that at one point she was having issues with parasites, which is fucking horrifying and disgusting.
And it's her own fault too?
Yeah. Living in squalor kinda... like, it's no surprise if you have parasites and, like, roaches and generally poor to bad health and, like, hygiene if you're living in squalor because you won't throw shit away.
Yeah.
This guy's gonna have, like, level 45 Pokemon in before. We'll hit with this. Let's have a battle. Oh. Yawning. Tarquin. I wonder if Quillfish... No, this isn't Clover, never mind. If I cut it, it poisons me, so I'll be weird.
What would become of Chris in a mental institution?
Where he should have been. Like, maybe not to begin with, but how it's degraded, he really should, just for the safety of himself and the people around him. Like, I think the perfect, or a perfect, display of Chris in his current state, is best described when he went to, I believe, SGDQ? I think
Really?
it was him that went to that. Or maybe it was some different convention. It was some video game convention that he went to. I think like a year or two ago. And, like, at first it started just, like, playful and, like, surprising. Like, he'd come up to people, or people would come up to him, and he'd, like, give them a peck on the cheek. And it's like, oh, that's absurd. And, like, kinda, like, not okay, but at first everyone thought he was just messing around, and most of the people who he initially interacted with were fans. But then he started, like, doing it randomly with random people. Just randomly, like, freaking suddenly coming out of nowhere, and kissing them on the cheek. Which is, like, not freaking kosher. You don't do that. It's, like, essentially, like, softcore sexual harassment. To, like, random whoever's. So, yeah, it's not okay. And eventually what happened is he had an episode because people started calling him out and saying that they were going to throw him out. At first he agreed to comply with their wishes. But of course he relapsed like directly afterwards and they threw him out and he had a huge tantrum. And that's how Chris handles, like, public situations nowadays. By continuing to do the things even when people tell him to stop, and then getting him thrown out. We just won't freaking listen. And you can see, actually, like, that's pretty, like, crazy. Him going around, like, essentially sexually assaulting a bunch of people. But you can see, like, the beginnings of that happen with, like, his interactions with Megan, and how she'd always complain about him, like, touching her, and how he should stop. Even when she's told him numerous times to, like, back off, and he still does it. And that's just freaking Chris being Chris.
Lolcow Cults, Kristen, Buster Chandler.
December 14th. Yeah, this is, should be all the Chris Chan stuff. You could find the random updates thread, it's pretty much always up to date.
Chris Chandler's sued for debt mega
Oh my god. Yeah, some of these
Government-
threads are events of the
garnishment.
past, but they're still very current stuff.
What will be the result of the garnishment here? And the one that's been voted most is Curses Bank says insufficient funds to garnish.
Oh, wow.
Can we have a fucking... How about we have a fucking vote? Can we have a fucking poll that isn't first past the post?
Yeah.
The result, Midland funding secures garnishment with 4 votes. Chris's bank says insufficient funds to garnish with 7 votes. Continuance is 4 votes. Chris sent to debtor's prison with 3 votes. Dimensions merge, nullifying Chris's debts with 3 votes.
Gee, I wonder if that'll happen. That would be very fortunate if it happens to happen just then. Yeah, that'd be very fortunate indeed. Yeah, I don't think Chris is gonna have the funds to secure garnishments at all.
Chris sent to debtor's prison. I don't know about that. I don't... How the hell can you get out of debt if you're in fucking jail?
Yeah, like, I don't think that's gonna work. Unless that's a thing in Virginia, but I don't know. I don't live there. All I know is that freaking Chris's definitely due for a reality check. And when this day comes, when July 3rd comes, he's definitely gonna be in for a reality check.
One of my friends told me this guy says the law should do more to protect vulnerable adult risks. Companies should not be allowed to keep extending credit to people on a fixed income who have no prospect of repaying in a timely fashion. Don't really care that much about this, but it's unpleasant to think of. Like someone with Down syndrome going through all this stuff with their parents. One of my friends who worked at a group home for disabled adults. And one of her first duties in the morning was to collect all the credit card offers and shred them before everybody woke up. She told me each guy got at least a dozen daily, and the lower functioning the guy, the more offers they got.
Wow. Yeah, like, the system here is very exploitative. And that's one of the scummiest things about America in general. Is how they exploit and extort in the methods they do so. It's just freaking disgusting. Definitely due in for a reform, just like Chris is due in for a reality check. Freaking high time for everything. What am I asking? Headbutt. Cool.
I like this guy. I like how the hearing is now set before August 1st, when BronyCon starts. last year, Chris managed to spend about $2,000 at con. Oh, he might have some extra money saved up during next month, which the bank would see as him having money to garnish. If it was at the con, he'd be scraping by the rest of the month and would look poorer than usual to the bank.
Hopefully he was smart enough to freaking do that, but there's no guarantee. It's quite possible, like, the delusions have completely took him and he really doesn't see it as any serious issue at all. But we don't know until we see. I can't smash that rock.
I would say that maybe having to miss the last BronyCon because of his own financial stupidity might be a good lesson for Chris, but he doesn't learn, especially after the idea fads got a hold of him. He'll just hold a grudge against the debt collectors, / whatever credit card company the debt originated from, / the core, and further retreat into fantasy land.
Yep. I wouldn't doubt if, he gains some sort of inspiration and makes a new saga of this comic where, like, Sonichu goes to, like, the whatever bank building it is. And it's like the 4-cent garbage building all over again.
Yeah.
He, like, goes in and they're, like, a bunch of degenerates who, like, hate LGBT people and trans people, and so he, like, destroys them. And, like...
One of them's a clone of himself from 2004.
Yeah. And then, of course, you have to end it with an epic battle where, freaking Rose-Chu, like, freaking goes super mode and then face rapes, the freaking guy who runs the building.
Yep. And the scene where they get revealed, the scene where they start fighting is this big, nice in quotes, page spread.
Yeah,
and
this DBZ style looking thing.
Yeah,
it's all epic.
Yeah, and it takes up the entire page, and then the actual climax of battle is just another panel.
Yeah.
Like a regular one.
It's just a regular one. And also, I don't know if he redid it though, but part of the idea guy's recent canon was that Rose-Chu was trans, so that might change her form a little bit when that happens. A new design for the classic Rose-Chu form that we haven't seen since that comic, I guess, where he destroys 4-cent garbage, which I don't even think is still around.
4-cent garbage?
I don't think it was called 4-cent garbage. Maybe it was just like 4...
It was 4-cent garbage.
It was? Okay. I couldn't remember whether or not he, like, did some stupid wordplay on its name or not. I'm gonna search that up right now, even though it's completely irrelevant.
And,
4-cent garbage.
Wasn't 4-cent garbage supposed to be a combination of Encyclopedia Dramatica and 4chan?
Yeah, and I believe it died. Blah blah blah. Weird gags.
Yeah, in the comic I'm pretty sure it did.
Yeah, it definitely got deleted then.
But, are you talking in canon?
No, I'm talking, like, behind...
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the website itself, 4centgarbage.com.
In the canon?
In the real life.
It never existed.
Wait, was that just... Hold on.
He made it up as a parody.
Oh, so it was never an actual website.
Yeah.
Dang. Wow. Like, I knew it was, related to 4chan, but I didn't know if they actually made a website for it, which would make the whole thing real, even if it's just entirely built for a troll. But it doesn't look like that was the case, and it's literally just a theoretical that they pitched at Chris, and he took it as legit.
Unless some trolls went and registered it.
Yeah.
In fact, who is?
I've the 4cent garbage origins is not something I've been very well versed in. I know it came from 4chan, but I've never actually. Is this like legit a shiny? Hold on. Telson? Pokemon Snakewood. Telson.
4cent garbage. Okay, get this. 4-cent_garbage.com. That's not even a real. You can't even get that.
Yeah.
Because you can't have underscores. So.
Alright, so it really is just a fabrication.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if you place it with a dash, it looks like its own 4-cent-garbage.com is owned by a domain squatter.
Huh.
Where does it go?
I think my cat's out of food, so I'm gonna pause and get her some food.
Oh, it's a blog of something. About. It doesn't mention anything about Chris Chan.
Yeah, she did have food, but she's just whining at me.
I went to 4centgarbage.com, and it's some fucking gamer blog.
Wow.
That doesn't mention anything about Chris Chan.
So they accidentally made a reference without even knowing it?
Yeah.
Wow. What are the odds? Suddenly you were lasered by a giant shark with laser eyes. No, but seriously, you should leave. Okay. Haha, joke. Funny.
Is that? Oh, okay. Tis a liquid of some sort. You're bullshit. 789chan.org.
Also, I looked up that Telson, that silver, quillfish. It's apparently the only one of its kind. It's only owned by that one swimmer. And if you hack it, you can't obtain it normally, and if you hack it into the game, it has a Pokédex entry that's just irrelevant, like silly nonsense. So that's interesting.
God, I'm looking at this ant right now from up close. It's right on my microphone.
Oh.
It's fucking huge.
Is it like a wood ant? Kill it. Thinking I became a pirate.
You can see the hairs. Oh god, it's crawling.
Pirate Jesus! Pirate Jesus? Or is it J, like Poke? Pirate Jesus. Y'all need Jesus.
Oh god. I can see the hairs on its back.
Oh my
shit,
god.
no.
Get some to whack it with.
He's dead.
But yeah, we're currently battling Jesus.
Play
has-
Jesus.
Yeah. And he has several Meowths.
So it's a ninja pirate zombie?
No, it's just a pirate.
And that's not a zombie?
No, it's not a zombie, it's just a normal guy. Clear off, for I it to ya.
It needs to be a ninja pirate zombie robot.
Yeah. A ninja pirate zombie robot. All of like the cool things in one. No. A ninja pirate zombie robot from space. There we go.
Nice.
Oh, thank God. It's a healing.
An alien, a ninja pirate zombie robot alien.
Yeah.
Where's Billy Mays Sour?
Oh, Billy Mays.
On the 8th of June 2009, Billy Mays, in all caps, was found dead in his mansion in Tampa, where he resided after suffering several assassination attempts by various hitmen, allegedly under the employ of Chris Chan. The truth part of it is what the fuck is this page?
It's mainly memes. But basically, Billy Mays was a real guy. He died. He was the original seller of products such as the ShamWow and other stuff. OxyClean.
I think ShamWow was another guy.
Yeah, ShamWow was another guy, never mind. OxyClean was the main thing that he sold. There was also this little, like, scratch fixer pen that I remember him selling. I forget what it was called. But, like, if you had, like, a little tiny scratch on your car, and you didn't obviously want to take it to the shop and fix it since it's not really, like, it's not that urgent, you could take this pen and it would put a sealant on it, and, it's like it's brand new.
PVCC message board.
This guy's just gonna have a bunch of fire with him. Sheets.
The private villa of corrupted citizens.
Yeah.
The message board.
It's great.
That shit sounds like something that, like, a fucking 6-year-old would do.
Yeah, that's like, wanna know what that reminds me of, like, for real? That sounds like a gag that they'd have in, like, Captain Underpants. Like, legit. If you've
Yeah.
ever read those books, they go for, like, really easy, stupid humor like that. Usually based on the immaturity of the joke.
Mm-hmm.
So just potty humor, and occasionally, like, just random access type humor. And yeah, this sounds actually like something that they would have. I wouldn't doubt if he, like, I don't know if Chris ever read Captain Underpants. He probably didn't, since
No,
he was too busy playing Sonic to read books.
I think I don't. I just.
Karamac? Frick is a Karamac?
I just think that he was I just think that Chris was that stupid.
Yeah. That's probably the most plausible answer. Is that he
Fellow
was...
the original is in
Yeah.
Piedmont, Virginia Community College. You know, okay, giving a fucking evil name to a place, like I said, is something a 6-year-old would do.
Yeah, especially since the reason why he hates that school is, I believe, because he was bullied. And also, I believe isn't that when the Mary Lee Walsh stuff happened?
Yeah.
And he kept trying to put up, like, advertising posters that is, like, single male, only, white women within this age range, no blacks can be my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And just, like, direct racism. Not even cloaked.
And they got told off for it. And as such, they
what is Visbu? This is like some lore shit that I've seen maybe one other time in this game.
I mean, it was a community college, and I think is that their associates or bachelors was the highest you could get.
Yeah. It was basically like, community college is way more generalized. That's the kind of college you go to when you really don't have a particular degree in mind.
Yeah.
Because you can just get something nice and generic, and then hopefully get a decent paying job, and maybe one day become like a manager of a company.
Right.
Like, obviously there's things that are offered at community college that can become more intensive as you continue on with the study. Like, it doesn't just end there. Plenty of people go to community, and then they go into more specialized fields of study.
Mm-hmm.
But in the case of Chris, he got his diploma, and that's basically all that can be said. His grades weren't very good.
And
Love conquers all, even zombies. Okay.
well, it just sounds strange to me, because a college is not the place. A college is not a place you'd expect it to be given a silly name like that.
Yeah. Especially for something that is not really the establishment's fault. Like,
right.
It's not. And I think he also... There was... maybe I'm thinking something else. But there was a case where he, like... I think walked out of a class or something. Or he like, griped about other students talking about issues he didn't want to hear about. Like, drugs and homosexuality or something. It was, I think, his English class. People were, like, creating, like, a page writing project. I think it was in the logs for, Vivian or something like that. One of his old gal pals. And he was, like, complaining to her about it. And, how it was stupid. And how so many people were, like, doing things about, like, his teacher, I think, told him to leave the class, when he, told him that he had autism, which, this is a very vague explanation on Chris's part, but basically, it's assumed that Chris said something detestable, probably about another student's paper, especially since he then went on to talk about how, one of the students' papers was on homosexuality, and he didn't believe that was an issue that needed to be talked about, since he believed it was wrong.
Right.
So, more than likely, he was outspoken about it, and, then the teacher told him to, like, stop, and then he said, and he used the excuse of, oh, I'm autistic. Oh, pity me.
Wow. That's terrible.
Yeah. And, like, if I, this is all major paraphrasing. It's been a while since I actually read this myself. But it's even implied that even Vivian or whoever the gal pal was he was talking to, it even implied that. So basically, you just use the excuse of autism, and then he of course goes on and diverts the conversation to talking about how like homosexuality is a moral wrong by the Bible or something like that.
Which is fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Okay, what's wrong with this?
Episode 5.
Yeah.
Huh?
The secret egg doesn't want to die, and Leviathan is dying.
Secret egg. The fact that it's called a secret egg means...
And I think that's what bad egg is, actually. Or maybe they're a mystery egg. Maybe this is a different type of egg. Who am I on? This is Jake. You can sludge the line in. And get... I don't know. Are you reading about the Sonichu animated series?
Honestly, I should just watch this video.
Yeah.
But
Just
the judges, which are all against him.
And yeah, they're all against him and they're all in on the joke.
What?
Gillett. What is he freaking doing? Is he using the Force?
He says that all the people he's cursed in quotes because he's forgiven.
Okay.
Even though he just cursed someone in the last video.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's just immediately backtracking. And if he's forgiving everyone, that means he's like forgiving like freaking Mary Lee Walsh.
Yeah, that's the classic one.
When he's had a grudge on for years. That's not even warranted because he was being a freaking idiot.
Mm-hmm.
And he never owned up to it. So this guy says,
maybe like mercy.
I'm a nonconformist. My family disowned me because of it.
Oh boy. Putting my resume on. Oh, this is from Chris Chan.
Let's take your items to leave.
Putting my resume online is the plan for today. I've learned from my experiences that a curse or a blessing shot is mainly comprised of the respective, enraged, or errant you are currently feeling. I do not encourage you this, but I will tell you for your information. When cursing, I feel enraged or really angry. I channel that energy between my hands, gathering them in and throwing them towards either the target I'm angry at, or the ground, or skyward. A choice of words are optional, but they do seem to add oomph to the attack.
Can you really call it an attack?
Yeah. This is directly from his. This is from an email. When removing the curse or blessing, I feel the caring emotions that comes more natural within me. Gather that energy into a ball and release it into a single all around me within a certain radius. Can't read the next. I can't read the next because it's blocked.
Yeah, just turn off the freaking
Blessings are more encouraging. Blessings are more encouraged than cursing. I've learned that personally. Cursing is a double-edged sword. You curse somebody else, and in turn you later feel saddened that you've hurt the person and in a relation. But only for a short time you feel just yourself. Think about that. That's the end of the message.
Obviously, Chris didn't think about that.
At least I think that's the end of the message. Pretty well.
Chris from looter to blown feet, I think. Switch. Some battle pirate. I think we're on land now. I need money! The Meow. But your Meowth. This guy's an idiot.
I don't. All these random capitalizations.
Yeah, he still does it to this day, by the way. In fact, he does it even worse. Because it doesn't even make sense when he does it nowadays. Like, his like, English skills have degraded as well. So this is the only safe place left. That's thanks to the salt water soaked into the sand, of course. Butcher, I'm freaking noticing. Alright,
Nuts. Sometimes I feel that way. Because he has problems talking sometimes.
Yeah.
And obviously you have to sort your thoughts out.
Mm. Seashore warehouse. So we're going in there. Family are all dead. Oh, that's great. Survivor Dublique.
Snivel. Family are all dead. Survivor. Why are they survive? How they survive?
Because they're alive.
How they're not zombies?
I guess they got away as their family got eaten.
How are they? This is like on the mainland.
Yeah. Stop freaking sand attacking.
Damn it. This man, Chris Chan, like he has a sentence and he says it, and midway he stops and he says the corrected version.
Yeah.
This should be familiar to you because
yeah, a lot of times it tends to be with like your case. You tend to just have to think before you say something. Chris has a bad habit of like he seems to have a very similar issue, but oftentimes he just goes at it anyways. He hasn't figured out like to just organize it in his head real quick. Right. Even if it takes a few seconds, it's still way better than saying like something completely incorrect and then just literally repeating it with the corrections.
The reason I have to do that though is because if I don't, then Well, when I'm asked for an opinion, or if I have to say something real fast, I have to say it, and I have to say it real fast.
Yeah.
Which means I don't have time to entirely think about it.
Yeah.
So I would say I'm sorry.
Yeah, just crazy shit has happened. Anyways, what? Talking about, if you have to say something really fast that you don't have time to think of what you have to say, you don't have enough time to organize it.
Basically, yeah. When I have to mention something, I like to do it fast, because otherwise I'll just be here thinking about what to say. That works for text. But when you have to say something, it doesn't really work out. You have to mention it really quickly. But I don't have time to do that. I mean, yeah. I don't have time to think of it properly. So I'll be talking. I'll just say something. I just say something, and then hope that it's right. While thinking about it, and then if it's right, then I will correct it. If it's right, then, well, no harm done.
Yeah.
If what I said was wrong, then I'll correct myself.
Yeah. Former chef Tony. I guess he's possessed. Or a zombie. What the hell
problem
is
though
that?
is that it makes me sound dumb. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Damn it.
freaking sorry, stories is happening. It was one of the 4 horsemen.
Okay, this is just bullshit.
Yeah. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
Used to not be like that, by the way.
Yeah.
In fact, that only you remember that thing that was from 2013?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what was it? We were at fucking... It was like a heritage festival. And it was really cool. And I had a bit of a headache.
Yeah.
And the problem started after that.
Huh. So you think, like, it wasn't the cause of it, but you think that's probably around the time when it started?
It started after that.
Maybe just a weird rearrangement in your brain? Some synapses being muddled somehow?
Well, I was also... Well, it was hot and I was a bit dehydrated at first.
Okay. That could possibly affect someone long term. I don't think it's common, but it definitely affects the chemicals in your brain because your brain's kind of like hydrated, so your brain's actually kind of drying out. Not like actually, but it like overheats basically.
Well, it's hot.
Yeah.
It's like it was really hot out, and I was a bit dehydrated. never entirely felt sane after that.
Who's my brother? So cool, here, take this.
Another interesting thing is, oh god, someone posted.
Random extra says emerald. Actually, no. Unfortunately, this is not the emerald you may know.
It's not even emerald.
Yeah, in fact, I believe this is ruby sapphire. Is what this is based off of. It's Pokemon Snakewood.
We were just talking about. We were just talking about how I'm done.
We're talking about the origins of, like... Alright, so the context is Kargaroc, the other voice, is watching like a Chris Chan documentary, and we were talking about Chris's speech impediments.
Yeah.
And Kargaroc has similar speech impediments, but not as, I guess, bad as Chris's really. And kind of how that started. This is basically a rectangle. What are you playing this on? MGBA? It's... Well, I'll have to come truthful. It's not exactly a real GBA. I know I've said that before in the past. Yeah. Just don't tell Nintendo.
Nintendo don't know what they're talking about.
They won't know anyways, because this is a hack, so technically this hack shouldn't exist. And we are in... what? Slateport? What the... Oh my god.
Looks like it's all changed up.
Yeah. Former chef Shirasagi would like to battle another one of these things.
A zombie ship.
These stupid freaking munchlaxes. They just keep healing themselves.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
I remember going up to that fucking Heritage Festival. It's real. We brought a bunch of water from there. And, I remember having a headache.
Yeah.
Because I didn't drink that much water. But I had a headache. And it was really hot.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a little bit of heat stroke going on, because after that I could never remember as well as I could.
Yeah, I think that could have definitely had an effect. Gold. Another freaking chef? Oh my god. It's gonna be gone. Shirasagi. But yeah, like... I don't think Chris has ever been good with English.
Yeah.
Like, literally ever. There was no point where, like, he started to really dip. He's just never been good at it.
Right.
So at least you have, like, that being as a semi-explanation. But, in Chris's case, like, a very good example is, the Sonic thing. The Sonic not advertisement, but, like, the news.
There's one thing I want to mention about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how I often forget things. Sometimes right after they're mentioned.
Yeah.
That would have never happened before that.
Yeah, it seems like an issue with short-term memory. I don't know if there's anything that can be done about that, but, like, I'm not into the whole, like, herbal healing shit, since I feel like most of it's total bullshit. But, allegedly, eating more things like, coconut oil specifically, which is a fatty oil, but it has like the good fats, like the brain fats. Eating more of that can actually help, maybe not improve memory, but improve overall brain function and well-being. And just just eating like a mere, like, you don't want to overdo it, since if you overdo it, like, it's not fun. It's not gonna kill you or anything, it's certainly not life-threatening, but too much of something like that can, like, give you the runs. But eating just like a spoonful of it a day, supposedly helps just keep the overall brain health. Some of that is kind of pseudoscience-y shit, because there's people who claim it cures cancer. Obviously that's not the case, since it's freaking, there is no cure for cancer that is recognized. But definitely look into that. Or just like taking fish oil pills, because fish oil is another very good like brain, heart health type oil. Just really look into that, because that could possibly help you.
I don't know. Maybe it's also because I'm still preoccupied.
Yeah, that's another thing. It could just be a general short attention span, which naturally leads to a shorter short-term memory. Like, things get lost really quickly because you tend to jump around. Which can also explain it. Like, it's nothing that sounds like it's serious or anything, just slightly mildly concerning. And I'd still recommend, like, you taking a look at, like, the coconut oil. Like, if you drink coffee, it's really easy to just put, like, a spoonful of that in the coffee, and it's, like, you get, like, a slight coconut taste, but that's it. It doesn't really change anything about it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
2010, I can remember a lot of moments clearly. 2011, I can remember more moments clearly. 2012, I can almost remember the whole fucking year clearly. Not general moments, but a lot of important shit.
Yeah.
2013, I can remember the first half of the year and about that same amount of quality. And then the last half is kind of a blur. 2014, well, that was when OTG stuff happened, but aside from that, it's kind of a blur.
Yeah.
There's some things that I can remember, like that one dream that I had that I talked to you about a while back. 2015, a blur. 2016, now we're starting to get closer. Still kind of a blur. But I can remember a lot of, yeah. It's clearer, obviously. 2017. Well, I don't think after that it counts.
Yeah. Since that's recent stuff. Let me think. I don't reminisce of past things too often unless it was of severe significance. And there's some of that, but a lot of times I don't really think about it, so it's hard for me to recall specific events. I can recall events, but not specifically the time frame in which they happened. Especially since I had a bad habit, and I still do, of not freaking putting a date on things. Like in case of artwork and like in my schoolwork, I was really bad about not putting a date, or I'd put like a day, month date instead of a day, month, year. So, like, I can remember stuff from like that's already happened. And stuff farther back that's already happened, and I can remember stuff from individual locations I've lived in. but I'm not very good at telling you exactly what year they happened in. I've never been really good with keeping that up. Corpse has a chef-shaped hole in it. These killer chefs, they remind me of a stupid joke from Boba.
Also, like, you know how I fucking have trouble remembering shit. But
Yeah.
even if it's like blindingly obvious.
Mm-hmm. It usually doesn't take too long to get your memory jogged back up, though. My mom kind of has that issue. She'll get off. She'll start talking about something, or she's about to bring something up, and then immediately forget it. And then, like, she'll bring it up later at, like, a completely different time.
Right. Like the name of a Pokemon, I just forget.
I've done that before, but there's, like, a shit ton of Pokemon. And usually, for me, it tends to be the newer ones, or, like, the more obscure ones that I forget. But I've forgotten really stupid ones before, like, Ivysaur. Like, I couldn't remember Ivysaur. There was Bulbasaur, there was a thing in the middle, and then there was Venusaur.
One incident that I can really remember is, Toy Hall.
Earth Light Spanner, oh my god. You know what, I'm gonna call it a set here.
Oh.
We're leading up to something, and I don't know what. I haven't been super focused on the game. So I'm gonna call it a set here. I've been streaming for like 2.5 hours, which is pretty decent. So, yeah, I did just save, didn't I? Oh, well.
Huh.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. I was just getting too unfocused on the game, and it had gotten to a more slow story-based point, and I just couldn't, like, I didn't want to, like, sacrifice the game doing some, like, irrelevant story stuff, in, like, a in-depth conversation. So I'm gonna end it off here, and next time we'll discover the mystery of the evil chefs and why they're so evil.
We hope that all enjoyed that.
Yep.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.